On our last class, I gave an assignment. So there was learning programming to write step-by-step structure of an adventurous game, Grasshopper Invasion. The structure outlines the key components of the game, including the story, gameplay mechanics, levels, and progression. Just listen to my own type of structure, how I always lay it out. First is game title, which is Grasshopper Invasion. Genre is adventure, action, strategy, platform. Use PC, that is personal computer. We use console, Android, and operating systems. Then we go to target audience, which is teens and adult. Then game. Let's look at the game overview, which is a peaceful farming village. A sudden invasion of giant mutated grasshoppers. It threatens to destroy everything. Players take on the role of hero, tasked with defending the village, uncovering the mystery behind the invasion, and ultimately saving the world from the grasshopper menace. A mix of thrilling action, humor, and mystery with a touch of environmental themes. Example, the consequences of genetic experimentation or climate change that leads to that mutated grasshoppers. Step 2, we made mention of core gameplay mechanics and exploration, which is a vital point. Players explore the village surrounding forests, caves, and eventually larger regions to uncover clues, resources, and hidden secrets. And stage 3 is combat. Fast-paced, skill-based combat against waves of grasshoppers. Players can use melee weapons, ranged weapons, and environmental traps. Crafting. We collect resources to craft weapons, traps, and tools to fight the grasshopper. Then base defense, which is to protect the village by setting up defenses, repairing structures, and rescuing villagers. Then puzzle solving, solve environmental puzzles to unlock new areas or gain access to powerful items. Then upgrades, earn experience, points, and currency to upgrade skills, weapons, and defenses. The story structure, let's look at the prologue. The game begins with a peaceful day in the village. Players are introduced to the protagonist and the villagers. Suddenly, a swarm of giant grasshoppers attack, destroying crops and buildings. The protagonist takes up arms to defend the village and begins investigating the cause of the invasion. Act 1, the village under siege. Players learn the basics of combat, crafting, and base defense. They discover the grasshoppers are coming from a nearby forest. The act ends with a boss fight against the giant green grasshopper in the forest at each advanced level. Act 2, the mystery deepens. Players venture into caves and abandoned labs, uncovering evidence of genetic experiment. They encounter new types of grasshoppers with unique abilities. Example, flying, burrowing, and spitting on seeds. The act ends with the revelation that the grasshoppers were created by a rogue scientist. Act 3, the scientist layer. Players track the scientist to a hidden facility in the mountains. They face increasingly difficult challenges, including puzzles and elite grasshoppers. The act ends with a climatic battle against the scientist and his ultimate creation, a massive biomechanical grasshopper. Epilogue. The village is saved and the protagonist is hailed as a hero. Players can continue exploring the world to complete side quests and uncover hidden secrets. Level design. Village hub, the central area where players can interact with villagers, upgrade equipment, and plan their next moves. Forests, dense maze-like areas with tall grass and trees, perfect for ambushes and hidden paths that grasshoppers are filled on. Then caves, dark, claustrophic environment with puzzles and rare resources. Abandoned labs, high-tech areas with traps, security systems, and lore about the grasshopper experiment. Mountains, vertical challenging terrain with harsh weather conditions and powerful enemies. Character, protagonist, a customizable hero with a backstory tied to the village. Then villagers, non-player characters, which are NPCs, with unique personalities and side quests. Some may assist in combat or crafting according to how you code it. Rogue scientist, the main antagonist driven by a desire to create the perfect grasshopper species. Grasshopper variants, different types of grasshoppers with unique abilities and weaknesses. A progression system, skill tree. Players can unlock abilities like double jumps, stealth attacks, or crafting mastery. Weapon upgrades, improve weapons with better damage, speed, or special effects. Village development, as players progresses, they can rebuild and upgrade the village, unlocking new features and services. Visual and audio style, art style, vibrant cartoonist visuals with a slightly dark edge to reflect the danger of the invasion. Music, a mix of upbeat, adventurous tunes for exploration and intense, fast-paced tracks for combat. Sound effects, crunchy, insect-like sounds for the grasshoppers and the satisfying weapons impacts that will show maybe you were using bombs or bullet or something. Then we have the multiplayer optional. It's co-op mode. Players can team up to defend the village and explore the world together. Competitive mode, a wave-based survival mode where players compete for the highest score. Then monetization, premium game, one-time purchase for the full game, or you can make it free, or you when it's want to be upgraded, then they pay, or you use advert in order to monetize. There are different ways you can monetize your game. In-game purchases, cosmetic items or something, are skins for the protagonist or weapons. Expansions, additional storylines or areas released as downloadable content, DLC. This structure provides a solid foundation for Grasshopper Invasion. Let me know if you would like to expand on any specific part. I know this is just an introduction. Each part, you must write it and maybe expand it for more clarity so that when you are coding it, you just follow step by step. Then from the introductory part, I purposely leave one major game development structure out. If you know and tell me through any of the channels, you will be rewarded.